everyone, Fluffy here. Well, as you saw in the title, this is technically not a mukbang because I'm not set up to do a mukbang. But I am eating, I just got a little bit of a ham and salami sandwich that I'll be eating as we talk. And then I got a shut up moment that I'm working on. I realized that I didn't film at all last week, which doesn't surprise me because I didn't go out in the car at all last week. What I didn't mention, I thought I did, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, no, I don't think I mentioned it to them. I'm having car troubles. I think it's a bearing on it. And the guy that I have a shade tree mechanic that I've worked with, and he did my rotors and my brakes the last year sometime. And so I called him and he hasn't really been available. So I'm having mobility issues, and that's a whole nother story, but I don't go out a lot because of that. But I'm also afraid to Lyft or Uber because I don't want to ruin the car further. So if the weather holds out, because he came and diagnosed it, and he said he feels like it is, in fact, the bearing, because I made him drive it. Because you know how you go in there and you tell people, well, it's making this kind of sound, and then it doesn't make the sound for that mechanic. So I made him drive it, and he did hear the roaring noise that I hear. So hopefully tomorrow he'll get it fixed if it doesn't rain, and then I'll be back on the road. And once I'm in the car, it's nothing really for me to do a mukbang. So it's the last time I tried to do one at home, it was a catastrophe, and I don't have the energy to get it all together because, you know, there's special things you have to do with a mukbang. So we're just going to talk while I eat my sandwich because I don't want to say it's been weighing heavy on me, but it's very controversial in this area, and I touched on it a little bit in the yay or nay, and not a lot of y'all commented like you would on a regular mukbang because it is controversy and people can get heated because of the discussion. But let's get into it. But I need a bite of this sandwich first. It's pretty good. It doesn't have any lettuce. That's what's missing. But it's got onions, salami, ham, American cheese, mayonnaise, tomatoes, and pickles. So, I've got it plugged into the charger, and I just moved the TV tray, and it shifted the camera a little bit. Now you can see my hallway. Anyway, okay. We're in a unique situation because this is a military town. And because the military kids have to go to the city school district schools, the government gives them money to help the district teach the military kids. I don't know if that'll go away. So far, I think they're still doing it. So that's one thing. So classrooms are smaller. They're still not having to cram a whole lot of kids in one class. So I'm grateful for that. We have a bunch of elementary schools, a bunch of middle schools, or junior high is what they used to call them back when I was growing up. And then 4 high schools. When we only started off with 1, then we got the second one, which is where I graduated from, and then 2 more. I don't know about your area, but teenage kids are just getting out of hand. It's just crazy. So here's allegedly what happened watching the news, and I'm part of a group that is for people that live in this area. So apparently one child was bullying another child, and it was 2 girls in middle school. So one bullies the other. The one that was being bullied brought a knife to school, and the way the gossip is, they were going to meet after school and have it out. And during class or something, I guess the one that was being bullied didn't want to wait or had enough, and she ended up stabbing the bully, and that bully ended up passing away. Parents aren't up in arms because it's the school should have done something, it's not right, and then people that are on the victim side, is, well, she got tired of being bullied, so she decided to take it in her own hands. The parent of the bully that ended up passing away saying something like, well, there's other ways to disarm the person. There's pressure points that you could have used. She didn't have to kill my daughter. Some parents are blaming the school because they're claiming that the one that did the stabbing, or one of them, wasn't supposed to be in school that day because they got suspended or something. And she showed up. But with the official statement from the school district was that no, everybody that was supposed to be at school was at school. Meaning no, nobody was restricted from, of the two, none of them were restricted from coming to school. Now, the last thing that I saw was the superintendent of the school district was saying that she's going to call for the firing of the principal. And people are up in arms about that either way. What do you think? I can see both sides of it, right? I can see I'm sick of getting bullied. I can't win. She doesn't relent. I'm going to handle it this way. Nobody deserves to get killed, especially young children like that. This bully, and here's a little piece of info that I will not share on that page because there's controversy, you know, a bunch of controversy. And I'm not afraid of giving my opinion. It's just that this part is hearsay, but I will tell y'all. After that incident, you know, I Ubered and Lyfted, and a couple of my riders, we got on that topic. And one of them said, yes, I know, she says, I'm not friends with her, but I know her, which is the mother of the bully that got killed. She said, she's a good mom, but I'm not surprised to hear that the daughter was a bully, is how she put it. When you're that anxious and stuff, I can understand why the mom's distraught, right? I totally understand it. You know, your child is no longer alive, you know. But I feel like some of that starts at home. If you're afraid, because I put that in one of my things, if you're afraid to discipline your child at home, why should that fall on the teachers and the school? You know, what got brought up is, you know, this school district's terrible, all the test scores are lower, heads need to roll. If the teachers knew and didn't report it, then yeah, they bear responsibility. The principal doesn't know what's going on in his school. He bears responsibility. But it's hard to teach children when there's so much, when they have to stop and discipline, when there's so much disobedience in the classrooms. I forgot what word I used, but I think you understand that. You know, so many kids are misbehaving, and I'm trying not to sneeze. I washed my hands with scented soap, and I just did this, and now I want to sneeze. Hopefully we won't. So, if you constantly have to stop to address the unruly kids, it's taken away from the kids that are doing the right thing and wanting to learn. Somebody said, well, nobody should get fired. They just need to be re-educated, need retraining. You can't train caring and concern. Because my thing is, if I was a teacher, because I get it, there's a lot of rules when it comes to adults putting their hands on other people's kids, right? Minors. But if my hands were tied and I saw this going down with the two girls, whether it was the one that's being bullied came to me, or I saw the bully bullying the other, and I went to the principal and he did nothing, I would be going to the school board meetings. I would be writing emails. I would be trying to say, this isn't right. We have to do something. You can't be complacent, and you can't teach people to not be complacent. You know, somebody talked about, well, the reason is because we don't have accredited teachers. Whether you have a degree or not, a degree doesn't mean that you know how to handle every situation. The degree doesn't say that you got taught how to not be complacent, right? Underpaid teachers is the state's fault, right? To me, accreditation has nothing to do with it. You either care about the kids or you don't. Teachers are afraid, because what I said in the group was, yeah, but the first time a teacher snatches a kid up to get him off of attacking another student, the parent of the child that got snatched up, the parent doesn't care that what their child was doing, that there was a reason why the teacher put her hands on the kids. And I don't mean punch them or anything, just grab them and get them off the other student. I put in there, I guarantee that parent's going to be in this group complaining about what a horrible teacher, how dare you touch my child. Because already they implement, and I don't think they've done enough. They want to just fire the principal. I think he's the sacrificial lamb, because the public wants, how did I say? They want their pound of flesh. It's not only the principal that needs to get in trouble. Teachers who knew and just didn't say anything about it should get in trouble. And, you know, that's what do y'all think? Well, it's just sad. I feel like that's learned behavior. I've seen when adults in that page have beef with each other, how they handle it. Kids learn that. They think that it's okay. So, I hope you can hear me all right. You're not very far away, but that microphone thing, I've got two mics, but I only have one other thing that plugs in the phone. And I really hadn't planned to do a video in the house, so I left that equipment out in the car. Y'all, I can't win. I might have to buy a second one and keep it in here. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But y'all let me know. I mean, it's okay to have an opinion, you know. There's no really easy answer. It's just sad that a child had to die to bring up this whole, you know. And some of the parents, and I'll just end it with this. I think I started to say it, but then I got on you know how I do. They started rules, new rules, because they just went on spring break, and now they're back in school, that I don't think they're allowed to have backpacks now. And they're having to be searched, metal detectors and everything. And now the parents are complaining that it's taking too long to get the kids into the class or into the school building. I'm sorry, you can't have it both ways. You just can't, right? What did we used to get when I was in corrections? Security is never convenient. Safety is never convenient. And it's a shame, but you have to have that kind of security for a flipping middle school. It's insane. I'd be scared to death having a kid in school these days. It's crazy. Scary, actually. Okay. Now for some tea in my neighborhood. I have the people on this side with the dog, right? in this house. On the other side, it's weird because my back door faces their back door. And one time, I don't think I ever told y'all this, within the last 6 months, probably maybe 4 months ago, I was in my bedroom, which one of the walls is the back, out back, and the dog's Sheba started growling. So I looked on my camera because I have one facing the back, and I see this guy at the window of that house, and I'm watching, and of course it's the camera's been recording that he had been there for a while, and then the next thing I know, she opens the back door and sneaks the young man in. I'm so messy, y'all. The next day, I leave. I don't know if I'm taking the dog somewhere or I'm just going driving, but the mom and the teenage daughter had just pulled into their parking spot as I was starting to drive by, so I called the mom over. She and I really never had any conversation. I know I talked to the dad because they have a little boy that runs around the house, and I was about to lay poison out, and I said, listen, and there's no gate, there's no fence, so I said, I'm about to put poison out, so you might want to keep an eye on your kid, because they just let him run willy-nilly. Just like across the street, they have a little girl that plays with the little boy, and they don't even check on her, which just terrifies me, but it's not my kid, right? So anyway, I'm leaving, and I stop, and I said, hey, can you come here a second? And I know the teenager just kept staring at me. I told on her. She goes, oh my God, can I give you my number? Can you give me that video? And I'm like, yeah. I got her in trouble. So it was the guy, she ends up telling me that the young man was like 19 years old and this girl is like 15. And so I'm pretty sure she got in trouble. I never saw the young man again. And so then speed up to when we had all that wind. Remember I told you that either side I had to tell them there was damage. And that house is the one where the air conditioning, the pole that holds up the window unit fell and there was a hole there. So I texted her and told her that. The other day, when I'm being a courteous neighbor, am I being nosy? Maybe, but made me think I have to back off. So I was sitting here a couple of days ago, and she texted me, hey, are you busy? And I'm like, what's up? Well, I gotta know my business, whether I'm busy or not. And so I said, what's up? Can you look at your camera and see if you see smoke coming out of the small window? And I'm like, I said, stand by. So I look, and I even do a close-up, record live. And I said, no. I said, there's no smoke. And she goes, no, the other window, which was on the other side, and my camera don't reach that far. It doesn't turn. It doesn't reach that far. And so she goes, so I said, why is, and then she goes, dang it, your camera doesn't turn that way? You can't see over there? Like, just the way she worded it, I was like, ooh, what? So I said, do you think your house is on fire, or do you think your daughter is smoking? And she's like, yeah, I'm home. It's just that she spends a lot of time in the bathroom, and I think she might be vaping. And so at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm not your keeper. Don't get upset with me because my cameras don't reach. And second, that's what I told her. I said, I'm not helicopter mom. I said, I would have confronted her when she come out the bathroom the first time I suspected, and I would have searched her. 15 years old, you do what I say. I ain't scared of you. That's my kid, she'll tell you. Tomatoes making everything juicy now. So I was like, what? It was crazy. So yeah, unless somebody's actively breaking in, I'm really not going to give them any information. Oh, because before this last one about the smoking, again, I'd heard noise out there, and I looked in the camera, and for some reason they have their packages and grocery deliveries sent to the back door. So I saw the guy, because I heard talking. He's on the phone. He puts the groceries on the stairs, Walmart. He gets on the phone for like 10 minutes, and then when I look in the camera again, I watch him pick all the stuff up and take off. So I texted her. She goes, oh my gosh. She goes, let me call him and see if they can deliver again. And so later on, and then she goes, can you watch the cameras? I'm not going to sit here and just watch the cameras. I said, well, I don't sit here and watch the cameras, but I check them periodically. I'll do what I can. Talk about people taking advantage or trying to take advantage. Dang it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. Like I said, you know, you're not seeing the food and anything, but I wanted to have a chit chat with you. I really didn't realize I hadn't filmed last week. I haven't gone anywhere. It's just that my videotaping is kind of sporadic. So, but I'll try to get another one out real soon. And I say that it'll be a week, but I'm going to try, especially if I can get the car working. I might go out over the weekend. I got to get me some kimchi. I don't like the fact that I'm out of kimchi. I've got a little bit, about this much, that is Walmart kimchi. It's the mother-in-law's kimchi brand. And I got a little bit of that left. So now that I've got this set up, I may be able to do, like, maybe do a cooking mukbang or something. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, I hope that y'all have had a good past 2 weeks. I wish y'all well. Have a really great weekend. I might talk to you before then. I know somebody asked me about going live. I'm really not up to going live right now. But you'll get videos as I can do them. Having said that, God bless y'all. Positive vibes out to each and every one of you. Remember to always be kind and be your own advocate. I love y'all, and I will talk to y'all real soon, okay? Bye.